I'm Megan Harper, and I thought I knew every corner of my marriage to Ethan. 8 years of love, trust, and unspoken desires simmering beneath the surface. But when he whisked me away to a secluded mountain lodge, promising a getaway unlike any other, I felt the ground shift beneath me. The air was thick with mystery, the firelight casting shadows on secrets I couldn't yet grasp, and his cryptic whispers sent shivers down my spine. As strangers arrived, their eyes on me like I was part of some unspoken plan, I realized this weekend would unravel everything I thought I knew about us. What did Ethan have in store that could change our lives forever? Picture this. I'm standing on the edge of a memory, the kind that feels like it's been etched into my bones before it even happens. My name is Megan Harper, 35 years old, and I've spent the last 8 years tangled up in a life with Ethan Harper, my husband. Ethan, at 38, is the kind of man who can walk into a room and make the air shift. Charismatic, meticulous, a master at crafting moments that linger long after they're over. He's an event planner, the best in Seattle, with a talent for turning the ordinary into the extraordinary. We've built a comfortable life here, in a city that's always buzzing with rain and possibility. But beneath the surface of our marriage, there's always been something unspoken, a quiet, electric current of desires we've never quite named. It's a passion that's as enigmatic as it is intense, binding us in ways I can't always explain. Ethan has a way of keeping me on my toes. His grand gestures come out of nowhere, a surprise dinner on a rooftop with the city lights sprawling below, or a whispered promise of adventure that leaves my heart racing. I've learned to trust his vision, even when I don't fully see the picture he's painting. There's a thrill in that surrender, in letting him lead me into the unknown. And right now, as I fold clothes into a suitcase in our cozy bedroom, I'm buzzing with that same anticipation. Ethan has planned something special, a private getaway to a secluded mountain lodge in the Cascades. It's not just the two of us, though. He's organized this retreat for a select group of people, though he won't tell me who or why. All I get are cryptic hints, little sparks of mystery that fan my curiosity into a flame. "This trip," he said last night, his voice low and teasing as he brushed a strand of hair from my face. "It's going to be unlike anything we've ever done, Meg. Trust me." And I do. I always do. We're on the road now, the hum of the car a steady rhythm beneath the winding mountain paths. The scenery outside my window is a blur of deep greens and grays, the towering pines stretching endlessly into a sky that's heavy with the promise of snow. Ethan's hand rests on my thigh, warm and possessive, as he drives with that focused intensity I've always found so magnetic. Every now and then, he glances at me, a smirk playing on his lips, like he knows something I don't. It's a look that sends a shiver down my spine, a mix of excitement and that familiar undercurrent of tension. I press him for details, but he just chuckles, his voice a low rumble. "Patience, love. You'll see soon enough." So I lean back, letting the mystery build, my mind spinning with possibilities as the miles slip away. When we finally arrive, the lodge takes my breath away. It's a sprawling, rustic estate, all dark wood and stone, nestled in a clearing that feels like it's been carved out of the wilderness itself. As I step out of the car, the crisp mountain air bites at my skin, sharp and clean, carrying the scent of pine and something ancient, untamed. I take a moment to soak it in, my boots crunching on the frosted ground as I follow Ethan toward the massive double doors of the lodge. He swings them open with a flourish, and I'm hit with a wave of warmth that contrasts the chill outside. The interior is nothing short of mesmerizing. High wooden beams stretch across the ceiling like the ribs of some great beast, their dark grain catching the golden glow of a massive fireplace at the far end of the room. The fire crackles and pops, casting long, dancing shadows across the stone walls, making the space feel alive, almost as if it's breathing. Plush leather furniture is arranged in a semicircle around the hearth, the deep brown cushions looking so inviting, I can almost feel their softness under my fingertips. The air is heavy with the scent of burning wood and a faint trace of aged whiskey, a combination that wraps around me like a warm blanket. Ethan sets our bags down near the entrance and turns to me, his dark brown eyes glinting with something I can't quite place. "This isn't your typical getaway, Meg," he says, his voice low, almost a whisper, as if the walls themselves are listening. "No formal dinners, no polite chit-chat. This weekend, it's just raw, unfiltered. A chance to connect in ways most people wouldn't dare." His words hang in the air, heavy with implication, and I feel a strange mix of excitement and unease stirring in my chest. There's a deeper meaning here, something I can't grasp yet, like a puzzle piece just out of reach. I nod, trying to match his intensity, but my mind is racing. What does he mean by connect? What kind of weekend is this shaping up to be? I glance around, noticing the stillness of the lodge. It's just us. No other guests, no distant voices or footsteps echoing through the halls. The silence feels almost oppressive, adding a layer of mystery to the already charged atmosphere. "Where is everyone else?" I ask, my voice sounding smaller than I intend. Ethan smiles, a slow, knowing curve of his lips. "They'll be joining us soon," he says, that glint in his eyes sharpening with anticipation. "Don't worry, love, everything's falling into place." His confidence is magnetic, but it does little to ease the questions piling up in my mind. That first evening, we're alone, and it feels like a stolen moment in time. We settle by the fire, glasses of rich, ruby-red wine in hand, the flames reflecting in the liquid like tiny embers. I curl into one of the leather chairs, the warmth seeping into my bones, while Ethan sits across from me, his gaze fixed on the fire, as if he's seeing something beyond it. I try to draw out more from him, but he's a vault tonight, his answers vague, his smile enigmatic. So I sip my wine, letting the warmth of the fire and the rich, velvety taste on my tongue ease my restless thoughts. The night stretches on, and I find myself lost in the hypnotic dance of the flames, wondering what tomorrow will bring. The next evening, I'm standing by the fireplace again, a fresh glass of wine in my hand, the deep crimson liquid catching the flickering light. The lodge feels different now, heavier somehow, as if it's holding its breath. I've spent the day wandering the snowy trails around the property with Ethan, laughing off the mystery for a while. But now, as the sun dips below the horizon, that familiar tension creeps back into my chest. I hear the distant sound of tires crunching on gravel outside, and my pulse quickens. They're here, whoever they are. I glance at Ethan, who's standing near the entrance, his posture relaxed, but his eyes sharp, like a predator waiting for the right moment. He catches my look and gives me a small, reassuring nod, but it does little to calm the storm brewing inside me. The massive double doors swing open, and a gust of cold air sweeps through the room, making the fire flare up for a moment. I turn, my grip tightening on the glass, as 13 men step inside. They're all strangers to me, not a single familiar face among them, and they range in age and build. Some younger, with sharp, angular features, others older, with weathered lines etched into their skin. But they share a certain presence, a quiet confidence that fills the space as they enter. Their boots thud heavily on the wooden floor, a steady, almost rhythmic sound that echoes in the vast room. Low murmurs ripple through the group, their voices a deep hum that I can't quite make out, and as their eyes briefly meet mine, I feel a jolt, like I'm being assessed, measured in some unspoken way. Then, almost as one, their gazes shift to Ethan, as if waiting for his cue. My stomach twists. I was expecting a mixed group, maybe some couples, or at least someone I'd recognize from Ethan's circle. But this feels orchestrated, deliberate, and I don't understand why. I set my glass down on the mantel, the clink of it against the stone louder than I intend, and cross the room to Ethan. My steps feel unsteady, though I try to mask it. I pull him aside, near the shadowed corner by the entrance, my voice low and urgent. Ethan, who are these people? What's going on here? My words come out sharper than I mean, but I can't help it. The air feels charged, like static before a storm. He turns to me, his expression unreadable for a moment, then softens as he steps closer. His hand reaches up, his fingers brushing against my cheek. A gentle, intimate gesture that contrasts the intensity in his dark eyes. His thumb grazes my skin, sending a shiver through me despite my confusion, and he leans in, his voice a hushed whisper meant only for me. Meg, I've been planning this for a long time. This weekend, it's about us, about pushing beyond what we've known. I want to see you transform, to watch you surrender to something primal, something raw, with each of these men, one by one. His words hit me like a physical blow, stealing the air from my lungs. My heart slams against my ribs, a wild, erratic rhythm, as I try to process what he's just said. Shock floods through me, cold and sharp, mingling with a disbelief that makes my head spin. But beneath it all, there's something else. A tiny, flickering spark of curiosity I don't want to acknowledge. My breath catches, a ragged gasp I can't control, and I feel my hands start to tremble, the warmth of the room suddenly suffocating. Heat rushes to my face, burning my cheeks as if the fire itself has reached out to touch me. I stare into Ethan's eyes, searching for some sign that this is a joke, a test, anything but the truth. But his gaze holds steady, unflinching, a silent promise that this is real, that he means every word. I step back, my legs shaky, the weight of his confession pressing down on me like a physical force. My mind is a whirlwind, thoughts crashing into each other. How could he plan this without telling me? How could he think I'd be ready for something so far beyond anything we've ever explored? Yet, as I stand there, the heat of the fire at my back and the murmur of the men settling into the room, I can't deny the strange pull in my chest, that forbidden curiosity weaving through my shock and fear. I turn away from Ethan for a moment, needing space to breathe, to think, and my eyes land on the group of men now scattered around the lodge's grand room. They've shed their heavy coats, revealing tailored shirts and rugged frames, their movements casual but deliberate as they take seats on the leather furniture or stand near the walls, their presence filling every corner of the space. The firelight dances across their faces, casting sharp shadows that make their expressions hard to read. But I feel their attention on me, subtle yet undeniable. It's like I'm under a spotlight I didn't ask for, my skin prickling with the awareness of being seen in a way I've never been before. Ethan's hand finds the small of my back, a gentle but firm touch that grounds me even as it sends a jolt through my nerves. "Take your time, Meg," he murmurs, his voice a low hum near my ear. "This is your moment. You decide how it unfolds." His words are both a comfort and a challenge, and I swallow hard, my throat tight as I try to steady my racing heart. I glance at him, seated now in an armchair near the fire, his posture relaxed, but his dark eyes intense, watching me with an expression I can't quite decipher. There's no jealousy there, no anger, just a deep, almost reverent focus. And I notice the camera resting on his lap, its lens pointed subtly in my direction, capturing every second of this unfolding scene. Before I can fully process what's happening, one of the men steps forward from the group. He's tall, broad-shouldered, with piercing blue eyes that seem to cut through the dim light of the room. His presence is commanding, yet there's a quiet respect in the way he moves, slow and deliberate, as if he's giving me every chance to pull away. He doesn't speak, doesn't break the heavy silence, but his gaze locks with mine, searching, almost asking for permission. My breath hitches, my chest tight, and I flick my eyes toward Ethan once more. His face remains unreadable, but there's a subtle nod, a silent encouragement that makes my stomach twist with a mix of dread and something I can't name. Hesitantly, I give a small nod of my own, barely perceptible, but it's enough. The man reaches out, his fingers brushing against my arm, the contact so light it's almost ghostly, yet it sends a shiver racing through me, electric and unexpected. My skin tingles where he touched, a warmth spreading despite the chill of uncertainty in my bones. He steps back after a moment, his eyes still holding mine, and I feel the weight of that brief connection lingering in the air. Then, as if on some unspoken cue, another man approaches. This one is leaner, with a weathered face and hands that look like they've known hard work. His touch is different, a gentle grip on my hand, his thumb tracing a slow circle on my palm before he lets go. The gesture is intimate, almost tender, and it catches me off guard. My breath catching in my throat. One by one, they come forward, each interaction distinct, each peeling back another layer of the walls I've built around myself. One lingers near my shoulder, his breath warm against my skin as he murmurs something too low to hear. The vibration of his voice sending a ripple down my spine. Another brushes a strand of hair from my face, his fingers rough but careful, the gesture so personal it makes my cheeks flush with heat. The sensory overload is dizzying, the crackle and snap of the fire filling the room. As the fire continues to crackle, casting a warm, amber glow across the room, I feel the weight of the moment pressing down on me, heavier with each passing second. My heart is a wild drum in my chest, pounding out a rhythm I can't control as I stand there, caught between the pull of hesitation and the rush of something deeper, something untamed. The initial touches from the men, those fleeting brushes of contact, were just the beginning, a tentative step into a world I never imagined I'd cross into. But now, as the night deepens, I know there's no turning back. I've given that small nod, that silent agreement, and with it, I've opened a door I can't close. I glance at Ethan, seated in his armchair, the camera steady in his hands, his eyes locked on me with an intensity that both unnerves and steadies me. There's pride there, fascination, a quiet encouragement that pushes me forward even as my mind screams to pause, to think. But there's no time for that now. The air is thick with anticipation, and I let myself surrender, fully and completely, to whatever this night holds. It begins with the tall man, the one with piercing blue eyes that seem to see straight through me. He steps closer again, his presence commanding yet careful, as if he's aware of the fragile line I'm walking. His hand finds my waist, a firm but gentle hold, and I feel the heat of his palm through the thin fabric of my shirt. My breath catches, uneven and shallow, as he draws me into a moment that feels like a dance, a slow unraveling of boundaries. There's a raw connection here, something primal that I can't name, and as we share this unspoken exchange, I'm acutely aware of the fire's heat at my back. The way it mirrors the warmth spreading through me, the texture of his calloused fingers against my skin, the faint scent of cedar and earth clinging to him. It's all so vivid, grounding me even as I feel myself slipping further from the woman I thought I was. When he steps away, there's a lingering charge in the air, a silent acknowledgement of what just passed between us. One by one, they come to me. Each encounter a new chapter in this strange, intoxicating journey. The next man, the lean one with weathered hands, brings a tenderness that surprises me. His touch is light, almost reverent, as he guides me through a moment of quiet intensity, his eyes searching mine for something I'm not sure I can give. Yet, I find myself responding, drawn into the warmth of his presence, the way his breath mingles with mine in the stillness. Another man, broader and more assertive, steps forward with a confidence that makes my pulse spike. His approach is bolder, his hands firm as they trace a path that leaves no room for doubt, and I feel a rush of adrenaline, a thrill that I didn't expect. Each man offers something different. Some are gentle, their movements slow and deliberate, while others carry a raw, unbridled energy that pulls me deeper into this uncharted territory. I'm caught in a whirlwind of sensation, the heat of skin against skin, the sound of my own ragged breathing filling the spaces between us, the weight of silence hanging heavy after each connection. The fire roars on, its light flickering across the room, painting shadows that dance along the stone walls. The heat is almost suffocating now, a mirror to the intensity building inside me. I can feel beads of sweat forming at the nape of my neck, sliding down my spine as I move through these moments, each one stripping away another layer of restraint. The scent of burning wood mixes with the musk of closeness, a heady combination that clouds my thoughts, leaving only instinct behind. My senses are heightened to an almost unbearable degree, the rough texture of a hand, the soft brush of a whisper against my ear, the way the floor creaks faintly underfoot as another steps forward. It's overwhelming, yet I can't stop. I don't want to. There's a part of me, buried deep, that's coming alive in a way I've never known, a liberation that feels both terrifying and exhilarating. I steal glances as the last of the men steps back into the shadows of the lodge. I'm left standing in the center of the room, my chest heaving, my body a live wire of sensation. The fire has burned down to glowing embers now, casting a soft amber haze over everything, as if the world itself has quieted to match the stillness settling over me. The air feels different, lighter somehow, yet heavy with the weight of what just transpired. I can hear the faint shuffle of boots and low murmurs as the men retreat to other parts of the lodge, their presence fading like echoes into the night. It's just Ethan and me now, the vast room stretching out around us, empty yet filled with the ghosts of the past hours. I can barely stand, my legs trembling beneath me as if they've forgotten how to hold my weight. My body is a map of exhaustion, every muscle aching with a deep, bone-weary fatigue, yet there's a strange energy humming beneath my skin, a residue of the intensity I've just lived through. I stumble toward the nearest couch, the leather cool against my overheated skin as I sink into it, my hands shaking as I press them into my lap. My mind is a storm, a whirlwind of emotions crashing against each other. Satisfaction, sharp and undeniable, weaves through a fog of confusion that clouds my thoughts. But there's something else, too, a clarity that cuts through the chaos like a blade. I've discovered something about myself tonight, something I didn't know I craved until I tasted it. A hunger for boundaries pushed, for the raw, unfiltered edges of desire explored in ways I never imagined possible. I'm lost in these thoughts, staring at the dying embers, when I sense Ethan's approach. His footsteps are soft, deliberate, a stark contrast to the thunder of my pulse still echoing in my ears. He sets the camera down on a nearby table, the faint click of it against the wood pulling me from my reverie. Then he's beside me, kneeling on the floor so we're eye to eye, his presence a grounding force in the midst of my turmoil. His hand reaches out, gentle and sure, brushing a damp strand of hair from my face. The touch is tender, intimate in a way that makes my breath catch. And when he speaks, his voice is a low, reverent whisper. "Meg, I've never been prouder of you." There's no trace of anger in his tone, no hint of regret or judgment, only a profound understanding that seems to bridge the space between us, binding us tighter than ever. His words sink into me, warm and heavy, soothing the jagged edges of my nerves. He shifts closer, his eyes searching mine, and I see something raw there, a depth of emotion that mirrors my own. "Watching you tonight," he murmurs, his voice thick with something I can't quite name. "It was the most powerful thing I've ever experienced. Seeing you let go, seeing you embrace every moment. It was everything." His confession hangs in the air, charged with a sincerity that makes my heart stutter. Then, a glint flickers in his gaze, a spark of something daring, and he leans in even closer, his breath warm against my ear as he adds, "Next time, I want there to be more." The words send a jolt through me, a mix of shock and intrigue that I can't suppress. More? My mind reels at the implication, at the idea of diving even deeper into this uncharted territory we've only just begun to explore. I'm stunned, my lips parting with a question I don't yet know how to form. But beneath the uncertainty, there's a flicker of excitement, a curiosity that refuses to be ignored. I pull back just enough to look at him, to really see him, and in his eyes, I find a reflection of my own tangled emotions, desire, vulnerability, and a shared hunger for what lies beyond the boundaries we've already crossed. This night, this experience, it hasn't broken us. It's redefined us. What I thought might be a betrayal, a fracture in the foundation of our marriage, has instead become a mutual journey, a daring exploration of who we are together. We have embarked on a journey that has redefined our marriage. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment if you enjoyed this story. This will help us create more engaging stories for you.